You might find it surprising that I am saying this, but that entire opening sequence was shot entirely on my phone aside from the one shot from a drone. And to be clear, I am very, very, very happy and content with my mirrorless camera and have always constantly stated that I would never go back to a phone. And I'm not switching back to a phone. But when FeiyuTech asked me to review their G6 MAX gimbal, I was a little skeptical at first because I'm not really about mobile videography. But then I realized that there's so much more to this gimbal than that. It's a gimbal that can grow with your gear. And it's a tool that I wish I had back when I was originally filming on my phone. When I would eventually upgrade it to a new camera, it would have still been compatible. All filmmakers and photographers start somewhere. And for most of us, it's on our phones or on an older camera that we found in our closet somewhere. And it's good to have gear that grows with your main equipment. This camera, my Canon R6, is my main camera. But before that, I had a Canon T6i. At the end of the day, while gear still does matter to the content you're creating, it's useless if you don't have the skill to operate the gear. I originally started filming videos on this channel, although the quality was significantly worse, on my phone. If you look between those videos and where I am now, there is obviously a massive difference. Several years of practice and constant experimenting with my style of videography and photography that has got me to this point. So I figured if I wanted to create a good, natural look from a phone, I can't have shaky footage, and that's where the G6 MAX comes into play. Like I've stated before, it is a tool that can grow with your gear. Now, usually my problem with dedicated phone gimbals is that they're toy-like, they're plasticky and gimmicky, and they're only really good for just using with your phone, but like I keep saying, the G6 MAX is different from a cheap phone gimbal. You get something that feels very professional, but also is practical. And to be clear, FeiyuTech did send me this gimbal for free, but all opinions are my own, and this video is not going to them before I post it on my channel. The gimbal feels excellent in its build and solid in the hands. However, the main thing that concerned me was its capacity, and while it did end up being rather impressive, I was slightly disappointed that it couldn't hold my R6. However, I have come to realize that my R6 is quite a heavy camera, and that's where other gimbals come into play. But for people that like to keep their gear light, like to travel light, pack light, and have gear that's just light and easy to use, this gimbal is pretty great. You can use a phone on it, you can use a GoPro, you could use a small light mirrorless camera. We actually put my friend Jacob, who you saw in the intros, FujiFilm XT-4 on this gimbal, and it was flawless. It was a great gimbal for the XT-4. It's practically a perfect fit. But you should take into account that this gimbal does have a weight limit. Make sure that you kind of check the compatibility list that is listed on FeiyuTech's website. So that's just kind of the one con with this setup, but let's analyze the pros. This gimbal is just quite a bang for the buck and for the size. I have never seen a gimbal this small that can do so much, and it has many features that are derived from more professional gimbals. These features allow it to stand out very well from the competition, which is usually cheaper phone gimbals that are in this price range. For example, most phone gimbals have the standard pan mode and pan and tilt follow modes, but the G6 MAX has those things and more. It has the standard pan follow mode, a pan and tilt follow mode, a lock mode where the gimbal will be locked, and an all-follow mode, among other miscellaneous modes such as portrait shooting and inception rolls. This is certainly impressive for a gimbal of its size and price, and I think that because of those things, it makes a much more appealing option when compared to its competition. My personal favorite mode, which is the mode I was using the most in the intro, is actually the all-follow mode. While gimbals can be useful for things like real estate and other things, they can often feel robotic, and a lot of my work is usually handheld or assisted with a gimbal, and FeiyuTech gimbals have really great all-follow modes, where the gimbal will follow your motions, and you can make it look handheld, but it will still be more smooth. So to create a more natural handheld style look with my phone, I just used it in the all-follow mode, and I was able to get more dynamic shots. Now, for your personal style of filming, you might want to use the pan follow or the pan and tilt follow modes, or maybe even the lock mode, which does come in handy at many times. But since I do not film on my phone as my main device, it's kind of selfish for me to keep this gimbal, so I'm giving it to my friend Jacob, who you saw in the intro. After we tested the gimbal with his XT-4, I really knew it was a perfect fit. And the gimbal even comes with cables in the box that you can use to control your FujiFilm camera, if that's what you shoot with. And my friend's results from the XT-4 were just spectacular, and he seemed to really like the gimbal, so he gets to keep it. And a special thanks goes to him for helping me shoot the review, and another project, which is my next short film that'll be coming out towards the end of this month. So, stay tuned for that. I will be leaving Jacob's Instagram linked below along with my own. You should definitely go give him a follow, he's definitely earned it. He has some pretty awesome photos and videos on his page. So my final verdict for this gimbal is, if you want to film with your phone, but are not planning on sticking with your phone forever and want to upgrade to a larger camera eventually, well, this is practically perfect. And if you need a gimbal the size of a piece of paper, then I'd say you should get it. However, you should always take into consideration your personal workflow and how that will actually end up working for you. And if you do feel so inclined to purchase it, there will be a link in the description. As of right now, it is not an affiliate link, but if that changes, I'll be sure to leave a note right above the link so you can know. Anyways, that is all that I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video, then I would highly encourage you to drop a like and subscribe for more videos of its type, and especially that short film that's coming soon. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.